Rarely has mankind hesitated to eradicate the creatures that stand in the path of his conquest. If we find intelligent species, ritual extraterrestrials, undesirable invaders from another world, the rest must be destroyed if possible in our dark past. Watch out and pray.
Greetings, ladies, gentlemen, CIA agents, and anybody who might be listening. This is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. We are now episode 11, continuing forward with Reptilians. Intro to Reptilians Part 2. We're going into their agenda and all that stuff. As always, though, I am Tasker here, and we have a very excited, eccentric named Nick in the studio today.
Hey, buddy, how you doing today?
Oh, doing good so far.
I'm doing great. I'm feeling good. I got my eyebrows done.
Yes, you did.
Looking real clean. I got my hair cut. Mullet is coming in real nice.
Wow, you really put on your Sunday best for this.
I did, because this is my coup de grace.
Oh, yeah?
All right, our podcast will peak at this episode, and then everything after this is just going to be shit, at least to me, okay? Because this is it.
One could argue you've been researching this for years of your life, actually.
Yeah, wasted years.
Yes.
You know what? Speaking of lizards, on my way over here, I saw a guy crossing the street.
Okay.
Looks like he just came from school or something, and he had what's that dumb character from Mario Brothers?
Yoshi?
Yeah, the lizard guy. He had a big plushie of that hanging down from his backpack. And I just wanted to get out of my car and just put him in like a headlock and give him a noogie. You know what I mean?
Was he a grown man?
No, he was probably like our age. We're grown men.
True, yes.
I don't consider us grown men.
Not quite yet, yeah. We have another couple years of maturing, probably.
Yeah. But no, he was probably in his early 20s, and I just wanted to just put my hazards on and hop out real quick, you know?
I don't know. Oh, is it because Yoshi is a lizard and possibly a reptilian?
Yeah, you could say that.
Or you just hate the fact that somebody likes video games.
I just wanted to bully him. I'm sorry. I don't know what it was. He had like a little wispy mustache.
For a second, you became like 15 again, and you're just like, God damn,
God, these nerds just hanging out all over the place.
This whole thing to bully. Like, did you ever hear there was a video about a werebully where on like whenever somebody plays a Disturbed, they turn into like a classic greaser?
Oh, no.
I think it was College Humor.
That's great. All right, but yeah, today it is part 2, Introduction to Reptilians. This is where we're going to get into the why and the how. This is it right here. Okay, so last episode we gave you guys an introduction to them as a species. Now we're going to tell you why you should be fucking scared and probably not listening to this. You should probably be preparing, like somehow. Build a bunker, do something.
Or you will roll your eyes so far into the back of your head that you just seriously might not be able to even see again.
I don't like the disdain in your voice, Tasker. All right? I know how you feel about this. This is serious shit. All right? You're sitting there all like, oh, everything's fine. I'm just, I'm on a day off of work. The sun is shining outside. The birds are chirping. You don't know the real threat.
Right. See, and I should point out that Nick has actually opted to stand today for the recording. I'm sitting because I'm relaxing knowing that a lizard isn't going to bite my head off in the next year.
Because I'm sweating right now, dude. It's fucking hot in here, and I got to stand for this one.
All right, well, illuminate us.
All right, well, in part 2 of our Reptilian series, we're finally going to take a look at their agenda and how it came to be. From the ancient Anunnaki gods, and I put that in quotes, to the New World Order shadow government of today. And don't you start fucking laughing already, because this is serious.
No, we're going deep today. I'm interested to see. I mean, I've been hearing tidbits about this threat, though. I like the creature things. I like talking about the monsters. That's what really gets my giblets all nice and warm. But now we're going into the politics of it, which is no, go on.
Okay, all right. Let's just wait to hear. I did history research on this one, all right? And let's begin by going all the way back to ancient Mesopotamia. In particular, we will be looking at Sumer, a civilization that resided in the southernmost part of Mesopotamia, now modern-day Iraq.
Sumer is also not the prequel to Midsommar, the movie that came out a couple months ago.
That was good.
You saw it?
No. I'm just, why would I see that?
Oh, fair point.
It's dumb. The earliest texts we have from Sumer come from around 3500 BC to 3000 BC, dating it to all the way back then. It's a very old civilization. And being one of the earliest known civilizations, Sumer is often regarded as the cradle of modern civilization, and for many reasons. Sumerians were the first to have a pretty solid societal structure. For instance, they had a ruler called the Lugal, and two classes of people beneath him. There was the Lu, which was a free, normal citizen of Sumer, and then there were the slaves.
Like every good classic society.
Gotta get the work done.
Somehow. Jinx.
Whatever. You owe me a blowjob.
Okay.
They even had official marriages that were recorded on clay tablets. And another major reason that Sumer was called the cradle of civilization, and probably the most important, is because of the writings they had done. It was a major step in the direction for humanity as far as recording history, writing literature, and constructing written law. Entire libraries of clay tablets containing daily logs, prayers, receipts, poems, and stories, to name a few, have been found. This includes the popular work that some of us had to read in school called the Epic of Gilgamesh.
I never did read that. What is that?
I don't remember because I put the word had to read because I begrudgingly was assigned this as a homework assignment and was like, nah. So I looked up like the GIF, the quick,
Like the Spark Notes?
yeah, the Spark Notes.
Yeah.
I still don't remember what it was. It was probably about some, I don't know, like a young maid who goes on like an epic quest to like milk a cow, or I don't
better
know.
than fucking Tale of Two Cities. It's a story about the French Revolution, which you'd think would be awesome, but no, we follow a shoemaker and his just jerking off in a corner the whole time. It's literally, I've never wanted to beat my brains out with a book so badly.
Well, I mean, hey, look, cobbler's got a cobble.
That's
all right,
true.
you're gonna get shoes somehow. How are you going to fight a revolution barefoot? That ain't going to happen. That's not just stepping on glass and like bread bits that are stale. Dude, the cobbler was technically a hero.
And one could say, actually, now maybe, see, if I would have known that back in 10th grade, maybe I would have appreciated it more.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
Thank you.
The Sumerians even had one of the first organized religions of the world. It was a polytheistic religion, meaning they worshiped many gods and goddesses, which included On, the supreme god, and was the personification of the sky and heavens. Enki, the god of wisdom, fresh water, and most notably, the one credited with giving them art and science. Enlil, the god of air, wind, earth, and storms.
They also wrote that hit song, September.
Oh, okay. Yes. That's good. Earth, Wind, and Fire joke. That was good.
Oh, thank you.
Inanna, the goddess of beauty, sexuality, love, war, and prostitution.
Wow. So after the battlefield, you get a nice lay and...
We got to pay for it, though.
That's true.
There are others in this core pantheon of gods and goddesses, and possibly hundreds of more minor deities, which I am definitely not going to name, because I don't have the time to sit down and look up every single name of this pantheon. Okay, so what do you guys want from me? This is not a history podcast, but I try to give the history that is necessary.
I like that the names all look like failed autocorrects of other people's names, like Enlil and Iana.
And Enki, yeah, they probably just like took their hammer and chisel and just like smashed into the tablet. Whatever came out was the name.
I also imagine everyone was wasted drunk in these days. Like I heard, especially in the Roman Empire, like everyone was just sipping wine like it was water all throughout the day.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
And collectively, these gods and goddesses were known as the Anunnaki, and this is where shit starts to hit the fan. Okay, I gave you guys all this background on ancient Sumer just to tell you about the Anunnaki. And many of the Anunnaki were depicted to be reptilian in nature, including Inanna. It's theorized that the Anunnaki were reptilians, the ones that were here on this planet long before humans. This is where our theory on the reptilian agenda begins to truly unfold.
And so just the reminder, this is 3000 BC.
Yes, this is around 3500, 3000 BC onward.
Okay.
Very early. Super early.
Oh boy. So one could say it's a little up for debate on what's fact and what's not.
What makes you say that?
No,
because it's so old?
Yeah, it's super old.
It's true because it's old. In my head. That's how I look at it.
I'm going to fucking quote you on, make sure that is on your headstone when you die.
It's thought that these Anunnaki gave wisdom, knowledge, and technology to the ancient Sumerians. But it's important to note that this wasn't just happening in Mesopotamia. Developing humans were being given help by reptilian or serpentine gods all around the world. For instance, ancient Mesoamerican cultures, specifically the Aztec, worshipped a god named Quetzalcoatl, who was serpentine in nature. In fact, his name means feathered serpent. How does that make you feel?
I'm just thinking of the character equivalent in Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Is this another one of your goddamn anime references?
I think Lukuo is her name.
Okay, all right, buddy. Look, I don't have. You're ruining my flow. All right, I have an erection right now, and you're killing it.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to digest this as well as possible for myself.
Look, you can make all the analogies you want to your weird Chinese cartoons, but I don't, and none of the listeners want to hear about it. All right, they're here to hear what I have to say about the truth, and this is important. All right, and when you start bringing all these Korean, I don't.
How do you know anime is not actually part of the agenda, though?
If it was a part of the agenda, then that's okay that I have a problem with it. I mean, I innately have a problem with anime. So like if I have a problem with it and it's a part of the agenda, I'm one step ahead of you because you're falling for it, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, what's the word? Drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, you're drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
With subtitles and everything. So they're not only are you falling for it, but they're making you work.
Okay. All right. I'll take that hit.
Ancient peoples from around the world also had accounts of reptilians that they had either seen or knew of. An example of this would be the legend of the Naga from India. And I'm not talking about the Naga from World of Warcraft. Okay, that is a separate race.
Important distinction.
Yes. All right. My WoW listeners out there know. The legend is about the Well of Sheshna, which was described as an entrance to a massive underground city where the Naga dwell. And the Naga were a divine reptilian race of people. And Tasker, you may be asking, what does any of this have to do with reptilians and their agenda?
Yeah, I was just asking that about anime too.
Oh, God. Well, I'll tell you what it has to do with it.
What?
Fucking everything.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
All right. The point of the history lesson we just went over is to solidify the fact that you people, that since day one, they have been manipulating us. Okay. Mm-hmm. They have been manipulating all of us.
Right.
And we'll get into it. All right.
Well, see, and here's some food for thought too. How do you know? Because you've been accusing me of being a reptilian for years now. How do you know me breaking your flow right now isn't actually me trying to force you to not get to the point so you don't spill the possible truth about reptilians?
I have considered this fact that you are some kind of disinformation agent sent by them, either whether you are one or you have been your root chakra has been just tenderly grabbed and you're being manipulated to do this to me. I've considered that fact. So, and I'm fighting you with my positive energy.
Mm-hmm. So you heard it. So you heard it right now, folks. This is not a podcast. This is a fight for humanity right here, right now.
It's unveiling before you. All right.
God, I hope they find this podcast after the apocalypse.
The reptilians gave us technology and knowledge, but it was just primitive enough for scientists and historians. And I say those in quotes.
Mm-hmm. They are literally written as quotes. That's great.
To think that we came up with it all on our own as civilization progressed, allegedly.
Allegedly.
See, the Anunnaki or reptilians weren't actually trying to help us. They were planting seeds of control within us from the very beginning. And they wanted to build a society which they could watch over and control in order to dominate us in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying about this?
That ancient lizard people have been guiding society to where it is right now.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. See, now you're starting to get it.
Yeah.
Now I'm switching your sides. You're good. Not only did they begin to control us in this way, but they also fucked with the human bloodline to blend in easier and to have complete control.
Mm-hmm.
So let's begin by talking about these bloodlines, by bringing up a point from the last episode that I begged you to take notes on. All of you out there. So grab your notebooks from last episode, and I want you to refer back to them.
That's right. New notebooks that we requested you buy on our. It was on our syllabus.
It was. So did you come to the first class? Did you come to the first day of school where you get the syllabus?
Or are you the kind that shows up with the sunglasses and the fucking venti Starbucks?
Yeah, that was me.
You do that for the podcast too.
I'm still wearing my sunglasses. Reptilians are very gifted geneticists, like we said in the last episode. Back in ancient times, the Anunnaki or reptilians would interbreed with humans all throughout the world in order for us to have reptilian blood flowing through our veins. It's important to note here that the interbreeding wasn't due to them physically, like making love to our ancestors and just dropping the seed inside, you know?
Which some people might be very much into nowadays.
Dude, I mean, we talk about furries often.
Yeah, and
if you approach them with this, and they would jump on board like hard. If there was like a reptilian that's just like, hey, I will interbreed with you guys, but I'm gonna actually have to interbreed with you. They're like already naked. You know what I mean? They're ready.
Why don't reptilians just go to furry conventions? It seems like they would be so embraced there. They wouldn't even need to have a disguise on.
I don't, I think even reptilians are afraid of the furries. I think that's what's happening.
Oh, their one weakness, huh?
Yep. So they weren't physically interbreeding with our ancestors, but they would manipulate our genetic code. Again, very efficient geneticists. And they were able to only have us gain their non-physical characteristics if they so chose, which they did for most of us.
So is that sort of them making us into like sleeper agents or something like that? Or is it just sort of guiding us? So you're still human, but there's an adjustment there.
Yeah, I would say that it's in the case that they want to use us as a puppet, which we'll come to in a little bit, it makes it a lot easier. In the case they want to. So you could say sleeper cells for reptilians? Yes. And that definitely, it makes it a lot easier having reptilian blood in us in order to do so.
Did you ever play Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess? And did you ever get to the ending?
Let's see. Is that the one where
the edgy one?
Is that the one where you catch them in the balls and then you do like you go to the place to heal them? You know what I mean?
I'm going to forgive this transgression, but at the very end, Zelda gets possessed by Ganondorf and basically turns into this...
Ganondorf?
Yeah, he is Ganondorf in this game.
Ganondorf is a name?
Yeah. Is that reptilian related or something?
No, I mean, it sounds like it should be. That's just a name, man. Who the hell came up with that?
Yeah, the Japanese. But
yeah.
Yeah. But at the very end, she gets like possessed, but like her skin turns like this like weird pale green and she has like markings all over. Her eyes are all glowy and stuff. To me, that's what I see when I hear like sleeper cell, like reptilians, like where you could just start floating around and shit. Is that the kind of like possession we're looking at, or is that a little too like anime?
Yes, I believe that you watching that trash has definitely changed your outlook on what a sleeper cell is
and reality in general.
Reality in general, yeah. Look, not all girls have tails.
No, dude, the cat ears are under their hair. It's just true.
Okay, I don't know who they're gonna think is more crazy, like me or you. Maybe we should do an episode on that and let you get it out.
We should just get a licensed like psychiatrist on here and just like figure out what's wrong with us and why we need to feel the need to podcast to begin with.
Everybody listening is our therapist, technically.
True, very true. And thank you everybody for that.
Why would they want to do this? Why would they interbreed with us in order all the way back then, right? Like some people would think it doesn't make sense. It's honestly, it's quite frankly, it makes us as a population a lot easier to control if we have similar instincts and personality characteristics. Because when they're making these decisions that are bettering their people, we're more likely to go along with it as a people. You see what I'm saying? Because we're like, oh, that kind of makes sense. Well, because it's like innate, it's like in our instincts, it's in our DNA.
Oh yeah, you want more wars, you make people more aggressive. You want more like politics stuff, you make people have like more distrusting. It's kind of like I was going to say it's like Inception, but instead on like a genetic level. It's literally making people predisposed to reacting a certain way. So even though there is that level of unpredictability with it, and that, like, you know, because humans are humans gonna human, but you can sort of, you know, cast the die in your, it's like counting cards, you know, it's not perfect and you're not gonna win every single time, but you increase your odds. So maybe you don't get it right the first or second time, but dude, when you're a eternal lizard monster, you got time.
Now you're starting to sound like a true believer. Now you're making your own theories, which is a good sign.
Call it what you will.
I'm turning you ever so slowly.
Mm-hmm.
The reptilians didn't just interbreed with us, but they also found a way to put more of their bloodline into certain family bloodlines that they chose as worthy to progress into the future with massive amounts of reptilian genetics within them and assist them with their agenda. And why are you laughing at this? This is a pivotal moment.
Because this is my favorite part, actually. So
why? Why is this? Oh, because you're. Oh, are you laughing? Are you laughing at me or with me? Because I'm not laughing, buddy.
Well, because we're about to discuss what we believe or what you believe to be. So this is not only just people with reptilian blood in them, but for generations they've had it. Is that what you're saying?
Almost full hybrids.
Okay, almost like might as well be like reporting to the commander kind of deal.
Yes.
Okay, let's hear it then.
And these bloodlines include, but are not limited to, the royal family, which is a given, which is a goddamn given, and everybody out there knows what I'm talking about.
Of course, you're talking about the Great Britain, right? The Queen.
Yes.
Okay.
That lizard.
So the Queen's a lizard. Okay.
Have you ever seen her eyes? How like piercing they are, and how like and she's got like this weird mouth with like she's got like sharp teeth. You know what I mean? Like she looks like a lizard. Not only is she like you got that weird evil smile, that old lady evil smile, but she clearly looks like an old reptile.
I thought that's just the sign of being a good monarch.
I think a sign of being a good monarch is having the bloodline. Because, I mean, a good monarch, it depends on what your perception is, man.
Right.
I mean, quote unquote, good monarchs have been raised by generations and generations and generations of the same family. But where do you think that all started? That all started with that reptilian bloodline. And why do you think they thought it was so important for the monarchs and for the royalty of different societies to be in the same bloodline, the successor, right? Why would it be important for it to be a family? What about a more qualified person that could run whatever you're in charge of? No, it had to be your son. Why?
Well, I hate to add more fuel to your fire, but it would make sense that they would create a line of people genetically that have a god complex, because those are the people that will be reaching and hold on to power and feel like they need to pass it on to the next generation, i.e. their children, and that whole like weird royal inbreeding thing. So if we are for a minute assuming that this is true, that would be the most advantageous way of create a line of people that have an intense god complex, throw them into power and watch them hang on to that for every generation ever, arguably giving them power for years and years to come. Or
maybe they were just forced to do that so they could keep the bloodline like a almost full hybrid.
They have a fucking reptilian like mobster checking in on them every once in a while.
You never know. I mean, they could manipulate them to do anything, like without them even knowing. Like technically, Queen Elizabeth might not even know she's a reptilian hybrid. She might not know, but she's being manipulated because her DNA is so heavily ingrained with reptilian DNA that she's so easily manipulated by both mind control and they just like grabbing her in her old lady root chakra. You know what I mean? Just like snagging it.
So they're just bloodbenders, basically, except on a DNA level.
Yeah, actually, you could put it that way.
Okay, that's kind of badass.
It's pretty.
Don't like admitting that, but it's kind of cool.
It's badass, but it's only badass until everything hits the fan, and then we're all fucked. Okay, so the royal family, that's a given. That is basic stuff. Everybody should know and assume that the royal family is just a bunch of lizards. Okay. The Bushes, that's also a given. That is a heavy given.
And we're talking about George Bush, George W. Bush.
Yes.
Laura Bush.
Laura Bush as well. I don't know about...
What about Jeb?
Jeb didn't get any of that special DNA, unfortunately. Jeb, no, he's a simple man, you know? Like, they just kind of let him be because, you know, put him in like a little field with flowers and maybe catch some butterflies. And I caught one. I caught some butterflies. Because nobody listens to Jeb.
Yeah, he was too nice for politics.
Yeah, nice is a good way to put it. The Rockefellers. Okay. Even you said it like that in a way that it just kind of makes sense, right? Because they were so pivotal in our economy that there's no way that they can't be.
Weren't they pretty evil?
Yes. All these people are evil that I'm mentioning right now. They're very evil. And so the Rockefellers. Now these are three major families. Just like throwing out examples to you guys of who you should probably be afraid of. Mm-hmm. So when you're looking at the news, you know how like I don't know, it was a couple weeks ago. Who was it? Prince Harry and that one bitch. I don't know.
Couldn't tell
his
you.
wife.
Yeah.
They're talking about, they're leaving the royal family and all. It was a big deal. You know, they're dropping their duties, you know. I'm like, who gives a shit? The more attention you pay them and the more that you let them influence you is the second that you just got, man, because like now they're taking control. Now they're like, okay, mind control. They're going to manipulate you into thinking that these people are important and have something to do with anything. When was the last time that the queen was like made a decision? Like, isn't it like just for show?
More or less. They have a little political power, but ultimately it's Parliament that makes that can actually put things into law. So it's kind of like it's I really don't know like the actual specifics. I know they have like they can like suggest things and she can like knight people and she's like the only one that can do it and shit, but I'm mostly when it comes to actual political matters involving like the economy or like, you know, like foreign policies and stuff. The queen doesn't really do much about it.
You know what? Anybody who gets knighted is probably reptilian as well.
Possibly.
Sir Anthony Hopkins, reptilian.
I almost would think that the queen's almost like the mascot, you know? They always send her to every event. She's the one who's got all the info and stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's a cultural thing, right? It's right. So people look at it as, they're so important. Mm-hmm. And everybody is all like, it's the royal family. She's a queen. We need to like pay her respects and listen to her. And, you know, but it's like, dude, you're eating out of their hands. That's the problem.
Well, then we in America right now are going through the primary elections. So I got some topical questions. So that we're going to play a quick little rapid fire game here of reptilian, yes or no. So Donald Trump.
No, he's too stupid.
Bernie Sanders.
Yes.
Elizabeth Warren.
Yes.
Michael Bloomberg.
Oh, yeah.
He dropped out of the race, but Andrew Yang.
I don't think so.
And that's all the ones I can think of right now. I don't have my sheet.
That's okay. That was a good rapid fire. But see, the problem is I think that was a majority yes, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's not good. Like, that's a bad sign. So, I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but statistically, if a majority of the people that you just named are in the runnings for presidential elections and a majority of them are reptilians, well, who do you think is going to be in office next? A reptilian. They already decided like 3,000 years ago who the fuck is going to be the next president. They put Donald Trump in there to throw shit off. You know what I mean? Dude, look at that. A guy with a tan like that cannot be a reptilian.
That's true. Maybe he's trying really hard to be one.
And they won't let him in.
The tan is from him being out in the sun. Like, I'm cold-blooded. I'm cold-blooded.
You're like, you know what, Donald? I really don't think that you fit in with our bloodline. You're going to have to just bounce.
Oh, see, I'm in the sun. I'm doing push-ups. And he like passes out. That was a horrible Donald Trump impression, by the way.
That's okay, man. We all make mistakes.
Oh, boy.
There is some speculation as to whether these people, and I put people in quotes because I'm saying that as a generalization, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Know if they are reptilian, of reptilian heritage or not. But let's be honest, they probably do know, and they're using it to their advantage. Another reason why reptilians decided to choose certain families to pump more of themselves into was because it made them easier to metaphysically control. If you remember, again, break out the notebook. Do you have it highlighted? Do you have this section highlighted? Okay, I want different colors for each section.
So we're going back to the fourth dimension?
Yes, a little bit. If you remember from the last episode, in order to manipulate certain people, reptilians will grab them right in the root chakras.
Right in the root chakra.
And play around with them like puppets.
I love that you did the little like ball cupping hand motion while you did that.
I have to do it. Okay. Every time I say root chakra,
root chakra.
Grabbing some fake balls.
Try that on your significant others tonight.
Make sure it's consensual.
Yes, that's
Don't be a Donald Trump about this.
paid for by the Bernie Sanders.
We're going to get shut down.
Yeah, probably tomorrow.
Now that we have talked about how the bloodlines work briefly, okay, remember this is an intro series, so there's a lot to go through.
Right.
Let's talk about the why. Why did these lizard fucks have to mess with everything and make us into the sheeple that you people are? I originally in the outline put we, but then I remembered that I'm the only one talking about this. So I'm not going to fall in line.
Well, and unfortunately, that's a good question because why bother with us? They're so superior and they could squash us literally at any minute. Why go through all the trouble?
Well, we're going to get into that right now. But I like that you're asking questions. You're curious. You're a curious little boy. Come sit on my lap, boy.
Oh, yeah, I'm so hungry.
You see, to the reptilians, it's all about the long con. They could have easily, like Tasker said, wiped us out at some point in our short human history. They were clearly far more superior.
Love it.
They were clearly far more superior to us in every way. Sheer physical strength, intelligence, and technology. So why go for the long con? Well, do you remember last episode when we talked about the buffet of negative emotion that they feed off of? Do you remember that, Tasker?
Yeah.
I believe you were the one that made it a buffet reference. So you better remember this shit.
I do. And actually, last week, ever since then, it was just like, weirdly enough, without getting into too much details, there was actually a big chain of like negative events that happened afterwards. So I don't know what to assume out of that, but
something going on. I'm telling you, there's something. They know, dude. Like they're listening to us right now. Okay, I'm using an iPhone right now, and an iPhone is made by Apple.
Right.
Apple is like probably one of the biggest companies in the world.
Right.
Clearly run by reptilians.
Was Steve Jobs a reptilian?
Nah.
What about?
He was an idiot. Did you know that?
He was kind of a jackass, I heard, and he like stole like everything and then just ran with it.
Yeah, and apparently, didn't he have like pancreatic cancer?
Yeah, something like that.
And he thought that only eating fruit would fucking cure himself.
He went for natural cures. Yes.
Yeah.
And
nice.
By the time it was too late, that's when he kind of changed his mind.
Yeah. Well, that's not reptilian thinking. That's that's what people do.
What about, is it Tim Cook? Do you think he's a reptilian?
Yeah.
Bill Gates.
Yeah, I could see him. Yeah.
Lady Gaga.
Oh, easily. Dude, Lady Gaga is on a list somewhere. She's definitely a reptilian.
What about just because I know he's on like several lists, like literally like terrorist lists, is oh my god, why am I forgetting it? He played Hulk in in Avengers.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the only thing in my head is Bruce Banner, but I know that's the character. That's not. I think I've just associated him. So Mark Ruffalo. No, because he's going against the grain. Yeah,
and that's what happens when you go against the grain. You get put on a bunch of lists.
He might be listening right now and is just like, yeah, I agree. This is true.
Yeah, Mark, if you're listening, I don't want any association with you though, buddy. I don't want to be on a list either. Sorry, homie. Okay, but that's why, because of that negative emotion that they feed off of. Mm-hmm. And we are in a prison that we can't see or feel, yet we believe we are free. And that makes us the most incarcerated of all. Mm-hmm. But outside the walls of this prison, the reptilians and their chosen bloodlines are making our lives hell in order for us to feel like shit so they can feed on this delicious feast of negativity all the time.
Oh, I thought it was just because capitalism failed.
Why do you think it failed? That's a part. No, that is a part of this. Okay. You create something, you create a problem with something, and then you create a solution to something. You control all of it. Mm-hmm. So they thought, oh, capitalism might work for these people. Let's try different economies in all these different places. Mm-hmm. Most economies aren't really working out.
Right.
Or all around the world.
Right.
Okay. They love that shit. Okay, so think about this. Think about this. You and I work almost every day, mm-hmm. and we buy things with the money that we earn, stuff that we need for stuff we need, right? Quote unquote need. Mm-hmm. As a species, we would be perfectly fine walking around naked. I'll trade you a piece of tree bark for some, I don't know, a chicken.
Yeah, better days.
Better days, right? We could still do that shit. Mm-hmm. But no, the reptilian bloodlines think that we need, or make us think that we need houses, like big old houses, all these fancy cars, iPhones, like we were just talking about. It's a money pit, and money's fake anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter. Like, that's all bullshit anyway, created by them. And then, so when we start buying all this stuff because of advertising and subliminal advertising, and then, you know, like we start like going in deeper and deeper into debt because I just bought a car and now I got to pay a mortgage now. And then, oh, what about that new iPhone that just came out? And I'm speaking from personal experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is no joke. If you want to donate to our cause, we are both actively job searching.
But don't think negatively, because that's the whole point of this. So when you start getting into these holes, right, in student loans, that's another one, right?
Yeah.
And when you start getting into these holes and you start feeling like crap, how do you feel? You feel horrible and you have all these negative thoughts. Mm-hmm. And then meanwhile, somewhere on, I don't know, somewhere underground, reptilians are just sitting around in this big table, just like, yes, 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 this is so good. You know what I mean?
So I shouldn't be blaming the rich people that are literally using the system to oil their gears with our blood, but I should blame giant lizard people.
They're both the same thing.
Yeah.
All these rich people are either manipulated by or are a part of the bloodline.
George Washington.
Nah, he's good.
Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, easily.
John Hancock.
No, he was given an unfortunate last name, so I'm going to say no.
Benjamin Franklin.
Oh, hell yeah.
Paul Revere.
No.
Okay, all right.
No, because he warned us about the British coming, and the British were the biggest reptilians at the time. So, I'm going to give him, like, a pass.
That's true, because, you were saying British have been reptilians for eons.
Eons. Mm-hmm. That old lizard. So, essentially, the longer they keep this facade up of us thinking we are free and creating our own problems that they are actually creating, the longer they have a population that will feed them negativity and flesh. And I only mentioned this a little bit before, but they definitely eat us too, like physically.
Yeah, but it's more so the point of them just messing with us forever is because, yes, they could just eat us and take over, or it's like farming cattle, or you keep them alive and you just use them as a constant source of food.
Exactly. That's exactly what's going on. And that's why they didn't wipe us out when they could have easily done so when we started to really progress in society, thanks to their help, of course.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why they wanted us to progress a little bit, like here and there. So They gave us knowledge and technology in the beginning so we would slowly grow into the civilization that we are today. Mm-hmm. But they did it on purpose so that way that we're confined. That's what the prison is. The prison is society.
In one of your many rants, you've mentioned that there was going to be a big invasion someday. Is that because we'll be nearing a way to combat them and they want to squash us down and move on to the next one before that happens? Or what's that? Because it seems like they should just keep it going forever,
Here's what the invasion that I've been talking about is about, okay? Eventually, Earth will run out of resources, natural resources, right?
Yeah.
We're already seeing stuff like this.
Yeah.
When it runs out, we will die off. Okay. So when we really start running out of things, and this is going to be thousands and thousands of years in the future, but when that does eventually happen, they're going to be like, well, our fun's over. It's time to just fucking wipe these guys out because, I mean, we're not going to live regardless because, like, we require things on Earth to live.
Right.
They don't.
So they're just going to go on a munch fest?
They're going to go on a munch fest. They're going to kill all of us. They're going to take some of us as slaves. They're going to move on to the next Earth-like planet and do the same thing to a bunch of stupid monkeys walking around who decided that evolving might be a good idea. They're going to do the same thing.
Oh, wow. Sounds like a solid plan.
I knew you would say that.
Yeah.
Because you're a fucking reptile.
Possibly.
And I thought it would be very important for our audience to know how to spot someone who is more reptilian in nature than the rest of us in order to protect themselves. And I say, I'm not, and I know that in the first episode I said they don't physically like transform into reptiles and to humans.
Yeah.
But people with heavy reptilian blood in their bloodline will show some physical characteristics. It's only natural that some slips through.
Right. So then just a reminder that these people aren't sleeping with the lizards, but they are getting their ancient ancestors had lizard blood essentially systematically added to their system.
Yes.
And over time they've become, so they're not full blown reptilians. Like they're not going to like, you know, like in the Rick and Morty episode Love Potion where they blow up and turn into giant praying mantises. That's not going to happen to them, right?
It's not going to happen, but they are easily manipulated by the reptilians.
Okay.
And they're best to stay away from. So if you guys know of anybody in your life who fits the descriptions I'm about to go over, and just cut them out. Cut the fat. You don't need them. It's going to cause more problems in the future than it is good. I don't care if it's your mom. I don't care if it's your teacher. I don't care if it's your wife or your husband or your dog. I don't care. Cut them out.
And it's like a fun little internet quiz you can do with your friends.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Just be like, hey, I found this quiz in Cosmopolitan. Let's take it real quick. And then if they answer yes to any of these, just say, hey, I can't make it to dinner tomorrow. So, and then ghost them. Block them on all the social media and turn your phone off because they'll contact the overlords and then they'll just find you anyway. So,
and I've seen you quiz people to their face and see your face get pale as they answer to yes to any of your questions.
Because sometimes they answer like 3 or 4 yes, and then I start sweating under the collar. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm sitting across the table from a fucking iguana.
Oh man. So that being said, what are these characteristics we need to look for in our fellow man?
Okay. So, I just want to point out up top that these characteristics are both physical and non-physical, okay? Number 1, an enchanting charisma, like yours truly.
Yeah, I bet.
So, I might be a disinformation agent and none of you would know, but be like Stone Cold Steve Austin in DTA. Don't trust anybody, including myself.
Yeah, because
don't trust me.
It's all one big game of 4D chess.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Nick has been telling us this for 2 episodes now.
Right.
He must want to protect us.
Right.
Or am I just giving you the completely wrong information so you look elsewhere?
And how about maybe I follow all the signs of being a reptilian, but that's actually a devil's advocate throwing you off kind of thing, and I'm actually the only real one here.
This is getting convoluted, and it's scaring me.
Yep, and that's how it should be, right?
Next up is the high artistic abilities. All right, and I just want to point out to anybody who doesn't know, your lizard buddy Tasker over here, sitting across from me, is talented in artistic abilities.
Well, thank you, and I'll carry that with pride when I conquer your people.
Yes, I'm in a confined space with him right now. And it's either you or me, buddy. One of us is going down.
When it turns out I'm actually 9 foot tall with giant claws, it'll be, we'll see where we go.
I'm running.
Yeah. So far,
charisma, like Hitler.
Like Hitler. So I have one of them, and so far we both have one.
Yes, which is not good.
Intense
green or hazel eyes. What color are your eyes, Tasker? I never get close enough to you, which is probably good for our friendship.
Yeah, probably. I want to say they're more on like the brown side, but I have heard hazel before. Let me put a light on it, and you tell me what you think.
Okay, 1 second. Let me look at his eyes. I'm gonna say mostly brown. So I'm gonna be. I think that's okay.
Okay.
I think you're good on that one. I definitely have deep brown eyes.
Hey.
So I'm good.
Okay.
Okay, next one, low blood pressure. And though I'm not entirely sure how you would go about finding that out, it's probably not a good idea to go check your friend's blood pressures unless you guys are at like a CVS and like a pharmacy. You know how those little things where you put your arm in them and you're like, hey, wouldn't it be fun if no, put your fucking arm in it. And you just like shove their arm inside just to be sure. And if they have low blood pressure, you make sure the machine keeps them in there and you run.
Yeah, or you just cuff them to it.
Yes.
Those machines are actually built by resistant agents to, be able to determine who's a reptilian or not.
That's a good point.
Hey, dude, we got to take the fight to them, right?
Next up is heightened sight and hearing.
That's definitely not me. I have like shit vision, and if there's like more than 3 people talking, I can't discern what anybody's saying.
Okay, that's good. For me, my vision is poor, but my hearing is good.
Okay, so
Very good.
yeah, it's like a kinda, but not really.
Yeah, I'm not going to give it to me.
Yeah.
A love of science, particularly astronomy. So nerds, all you nerds out there,
Yeah.
we're kind of on to you.
My brother and all of his friends.
Yes, your brother and their friends are astrophysicists. I'm never
Yeah.
talking to them again. Deep red hair, like a real dark red natural hair.
That's just
Neither of us have that.
yeah. No, we're good on that. Not even close.
Psychic abilities. Do you have any psychic abilities you've never told me about?
I wish, dude. That would make my life so much easier, especially for this carpal tunnel bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just be able to write with just like floating pens.
Damn. Okay, yeah, I'm good too then because I'm definitely not psychic. High pronounced cheekbones.
Nah, I'm more rounded.
I'm pretty rounded off, but my cheekbones are a little high.
You do, yeah. Just so we'll give you like a half point on that.
Okay, half point. Unexplained scars anywhere on the body. Do you have any unexplained scars?
Not really. I could pretty much explain every scar I see.
Okay, same. That's good. And last but not least, any connection with UFOs, whether that means they have been abducted or have seen UFOs frequently. And as a quick side note, I do have a friend at work named Manny who listens to the podcast. So Manny, hi.
Hey, Manny.
Also bye, because he has had many encounters with UFOs that we've talked about at work, and I don't think we could be friends anymore.
Oh, what a short and sweet friendship that was, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to see him around the office, but it's been cool, man.
Oh no. So yeah, is that the end of that's the end of the list, right?
That's the end of the list. And you know what? That's kind of the end of the at the end of the information that I have for you guys. I wanted to really talk about the gist of the agenda. Okay, I could have, and yes, I did. By the way, use some David Icke material for this,
Right.
because he is the truth bringer. But I could have done like a fucking 3-hour long episode. None of you want that. Tasker doesn't want that.
Nope.
So I didn't do it. I just gave you the gist of it. We're going to do the same thing that we're doing with vampires, and we're going to break it down into like more niche episodes of the same subject.
Right.
So in the future, we will talk more about reptilians and get deeper into the subject matter. But this is a rundown. This is basic information. Then you guys should have been taking notes on.
Oh wait, hold on. Wait, where? Do you hear that?
No, what is it?
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-bum. This is why it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Oh, no.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit. All of this is fake. All of this is, I think we're just we're missing the point that there is a lot of rich people fucking with us right now that want us to blame giant lizards because that gives us hopelessness, because that gives us we can't win against these things, so they can just keep on sipping out of their goddamn crystal champagne glasses and stuff. I think all of this is interesting. And I think it really does, like, it's a cool way to tie everything together. But you know who also did that? L. Ron Hubbard, who made a cult out of it and just made a shit ton of money about it. How much money is David Icke getting by going around and doing lectures talking about shit that isn't real? Because it's fiction, because he's just an author going around talking about his bullshit that he's making up as he goes and making up connections. And they are fascinating. I will not deny that. It is very interesting and very cool. But there is no goddamn way that there are shape-shifting, fourth-dimensional fucking lizard people phasing
How
it
would
out
you know?
that Keanu Reeves,
Yes.
a national treasure, is a lizard person.
And why do you think he's a national treasure? Why do you think everybody in fucking society thinks that he's the greatest thing since sliced bread? Because he's meant to be seen that way. So when he makes a decision about something political, something societal, everybody's like, you know what? That Keanu Reeves is a pretty good guy. He was in the Matrix. So let's side with him. And then boom, they just got like fucking millions of people on their side about something that they want done. And the same thing with Beyonce, and the same thing with Lady Gaga and Jay-Z. All these reptiles are going to make a decision, and since you people look up to them, you're going to follow in suit.
See, I'll believe it when, the day comes and, we're running out of our natural resources and, the reptilians start appearing and Keanu Reeves shows up on TV and says, I think we need to bow down to them. Then I'll be like, okay, maybe you were onto something, as I'm getting like my arm chomped off or something like that. Actually, no, realistically, if that did happen, I think I have that weird luck that I would actually get picked up as a slave, and I would just have to be like, reaching into crotch holes for the rest of my life.
You'd be a sex slave.
I would
on the Reptilians. And you know what? For talking all this shit, you deserve it.
What can I say, man? I got those broad shoulders they might be into.
Oh my God. And you know what? To talk about the point that you first brought up about all these rich people just fucking with us, telling us that it's reptilians messing with them.
Yeah.
They did not start this. They did not bring the truth out. The rich people are the ones that are hoping nobody's talking about it because they are the reptilians. Mm-hmm. So while they're sitting there enjoying their champagne with their crystal glasses, like you were saying, they're really just like, oh man, they're sweating. They're like, I really hope that this David Icke doesn't keep doing these 8-hour-long goddamn seminars, because that's when the truth gets out.
Hey, man, I would rather be sweating in my fucking $8 million jacuzzi, getting my back rubbed by the world famous professional masseuse named Ricardo, than I would be sitting here wondering if lizards are going to come and just like, throat slam me against the wall.
I know, but like, wouldn't you rather be prepared? Wouldn't you rather have a little bit of faith and then be prepared for when the day comes instead of just blaming it on rich people? Because rich people, they are just puppets, but yeah, they're a part of the problem.
I feel like I'd rather just side with the reptilians at this point. Sounds like you get power and all the kinds of shit.
That's some sacrilegious bullshit that came out of your mouth. I just spent 2 episodes telling you what the problem is, and you're like, you know what? That sounds pretty good.
Sounds dope. I don't know what you're talking about.
This isn't an army recruitment video. I need you to be on my side.
So now you, audience, it's up to you to determine from what you have heard, who is the reptilian in the room?
Okay, no, because this can go many ways, because like I said, this is convoluted. Either I'm a reptilian and a disinformation agent, or I'm actually trying to bring the truth and protect everybody out there, including you, Tasker, for some reason. Or Tasker's a reptilian, and he's the one that's truly just talking shit, ready to go. Or he is like, he believes, I don't know. I can't tell. I can't tell with his beady lizard-like eyes just staring at me. I don't know.
And I think we found the entire point of our podcast is as we go through all these subjects and monsters and creatures and aliens, we're going to determine who actually does care for the welfare of humankind.
It's me. I have worked on 2 outlines and read David Icke books. Have you ever read a David Icke book before? Have you ever read, like, thumb through one?
No.
It's unintelligible.
Oh, no.
But I did it because I wanted people out there to know what's really happening. There was a whole chapter in one of the books about how Princess Diana was killed in that car crash because of her psychic abilities that are in her bloodline. And I didn't get into that, but we could have.
We could have.
And I didn't. All right. So I care the most because I put up with this shit in order for people to feel better, or to at least be prepared. They have to be prepared when the day comes. Like I said, it could be thousands of years, or they could just be like, you know what, these humans are fucking boring. Let's just wipe them all out right now, and we'll move on to the next planet. That could happen literally tomorrow.
Possibly.
And the four of you listening right now will be like, you know what, I know what to look for. Now I haven't given you guys any tips on how to protect yourself because frankly, it's very difficult to protect yourself from a fucking 9 foot tall, jacked crocodile person.
Which does bring a question then. Can these things actually be killed?
They can be. And
good luck kind of deal.
Yeah, if it's a human trying, it's like, yo man, good luck. It's like a 1 in a million. But there are species out there, other alien species, who are trying to assist the humans to get us out of the prison that we are in. Which we will probably get into in a different episode. Just to name one of them, the Pleiadians is the most most notable one.
I love the Pleiadians. That's going to be a good one.
So there is hope for us. But that's it. I need you guys to make sure you take your notes on this episode and then never trust anybody again.
Yeah, that's good advice.
I don't care who it is. I will go through the list again. Your mother, your grandfather, your husband, your tax person.
Your pets, can they be reptilians?
I don't think so. I think I was joking when I said the dog earlier, but I don't think they can.
Okay. As far as we know, I mean, coronavirus is in pets now.
Oh, and okay. Bring up the coronavirus. Now, let me talk about that for a second.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, because you think it's a bioengineered attack, right?
I don't think. Okay? I know as a fact that it was created in a lab. Whether it was created on the order of a reptilian or not, the fact is it was created in a level 4 biolab in China. Okay? Now, did the reptilians create the virus, purposefully let it go, and then cause a scare? Right? There you see many things in history, especially in modern history, that are meant to draw our attention away from what's really happening. And this is one of them.
Right.
The coronavirus isn't that bad.
Right. It really is. Actually, the common flu has way higher fatality rate, actually.
Yes, it has a higher fatality rate, and it has a higher fatality rate in people who aren't just old people, because a majority of the people who are dying from this are old people.
Right.
But it's scary because the media makes it scary on purpose in order to direct our attention to this instead of other things.
Yeah, no,
this is all part of it. So they create the thing, and then they're going to create a solution, and then they control both sides.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what's happening right now. So that's why whenever I see something about the coronavirus, I'm like, who gives a shit? It'll be gone anyway. It was just like
maybe swine flu all over again.
Yeah, because that's all. Yeah, Ebola, swine flu,
which I think they actually did just cure Ebola.
They cured it?
Yeah, I think either they cured it or they have like a major leap. So like Ebola is like on track of not being like a problem anymore, which is great because Ebola sounds fucking horrible.
I still haven't forgiven the reptilians for AIDS.
AIDS is pretty bad, yeah.
So, okay, I'm getting off topic here.
We can do a whole other episode more of supplementary material on this, but the point being is that according to Nick, we are being manipulated to be where we're at right now. So the best thing you could do is actually stay positive.
Yes, if there's exactly one tip that we can give you guys, if there's one takeaway from this, don't let everything get you down. Remember that money is fake.
Yeah.
Remember that taxes are fake, so stop paying your taxes. And stay positive.
They can't arrest all of us.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. What are they going to come arrest us?
It's like if everyone on the freeway was going 90, they're not going to stop everyone.
Yeah, come on now. I mean, it's like the group mentality. So, positivity, everybody, boys, girls, I need you guys to okay, the next time you get your check and it's not as big as you thought it was going to be because you kept leaving work early because you're lazy. Like
a little autobiographical.
Then don't let that get you down. Stay positive. Because you know what? It's kind of like people's mentality on veganism and vegetarianism, which I don't agree with.
Right.
And I will never agree with.
Make it very clear, yes.
But their mentality is that for every steak I don't eat, I save a cow or something. It's the same thing, which is bullshit, by the way, because that steak's already right there. It's already dead. You may as well just eat it.
True.
But the same thing happens. For every negative thought that I suppress and I stay positive, I'm starving one reptilian. And that's what you have to do.
But one can even argue, too, if we all collectively become just a positive people in general, Wouldn't they become so starved they're like, "Oh, fuck it, let's just eat them all and move on to the next one?" In fact, expediting the process.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
But also, at the same time, when I say become a positive nation, I also realize that's actually completely impossible, though. I mean, you try to make humankind an all-around, like, everybody being nice.
Because we're already set in our ways. We're already set up in this prison.
They've already messed with our genetics back in 3000 BC.
Yep.
So they've already guaranteed that that's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we're all aggressive in nature because of their bloodline.
So we are literally just the vegans, where we're trying to make a difference, even though they're just going to keep doing it. But hey, we can still try and ruffle some feathers along the way.
Yes, and that's what I'm doing. I'm trying.
Or scales.
Reptilian joke.
Well, this is, I think, our longest episode yet.
Yes, I ranted.
That's it's kind of amazing. I think we covered some really good ground today. We've had a lot of good eye-opening information.
I hope so. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys feel more secure or more scared. I don't know.
Yeah,
it depends on how you look at it.
Join our pseudo-vegan revolution against the reptilians with positivity.
Vegans against reptilians. But we're not vegan.
Nope, not at all. So that being noted, email us at ceotpk1@gmail.com if you have need more clarification. If you are concerned about one of your friends who may or may not be a lizard person contemplating your death.
And yes, and your local legends.
Yeah.
We wanna hear local legends.
Yeah, you got a story, you got a haunting that you dealt with. Have you been abducted by aliens? Tell us your story. We'd love to put it on the show.
Yeah.
Also, we have Instagram at CEOTPK. We have Twitter at CEOTPK1. And we also have a Discord, discord.gg, lowercase b, number 6, capital C, capital T, 5, capital M, capital X.
And we do have, remember, guys, Count Chocula episode in the works. It's taking a little bit longer than we thought, but it is in the works.
It's really rough sometimes because a lot of his information is actually redacted from the U.S. government, and we've been having to find foreign sources to try to, really get the meat of the story. So it's in the works. Don't worry.
Yes, I'm using the Freedom of Information Act to its full effect in order to get files on Count Chocula from the CIA, but they redact everything because they have the power to do so. Mm-hmm. And I paid $10,000 for that paperwork.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe Count Chocula ends up being the key to the reptilians, and that's why it's so, buried.
We'll get into it.
We'll figure it out.
We'll get into it.
So until then, hope you all have a good rest of your commute day, evening, or solstice. I don't know.
Yeah, come on, guys. Stop being so negative.
Yeah. This is why he's bullshit.